Okay, I've seen this article linked in the Discord several times already, and I figured, yeah, I gotta do a video on this. And no, not because I just want to rant about female privilege, because that's like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. There's some other perspectives that I wanted to bring up on this. So if you haven't seen the headline, it basically goes as follows. So this woman who's 30 years old was driving drunk, and she got into a huge wreck and was pulled from a burning car, all because she decided to drive negligently while drinking and driving. So the judge had decided, you know what, I'm going to give her a slap on the wrist just because she's a woman. But she also said that if you were a man, I'd be throwing you in jail. Now keep in mind that she has had 2 prior alcohol-related convictions before. But no, we gotta spare her. We can't put this poor girl in jail. She didn't really mean it, did she? Alright, but let's take a moment to just forget about the obvious gender bias, okay? This is yet another example of how incompetent judges and government officials can be in the West. This woman is obviously an alcoholic. What she needs is help. And not just for the sake of her own life, but for the sake of those around her. She is a danger to those who are already driving responsibly on the road. So how many people have to die in order for the judge to realize, wait, this woman needs to either get help or go to jail? Scratch that. I mean both. But the judge only cares about her obviously skewed morals. And to be frank, I would love to see them both go to jail, her and that judge, because they are both endangering innocent lives. So dear British people, stop being cucks. Stop being pussies. Stop allowing this to happen. No, wait, that's asking a bit too much. You guys have already let all of your rights go out the window. You guys basically live in a modern day 1984. But I digress. But on that note, how many of you have ever seen the movie called Flight? Released in 2012, it was starring Denzel Washington. So Denzel was playing the role of a pilot who was an alcoholic. So he was drinking while flying, and yet while he was drunk, he managed to save this plane during an inevitable crash and managed to save everybody on the plane. So as the movie progresses, he realizes, I'm an alcoholic. I really need to get help. And during his trial, they found some evidence that suggested that there was someone else on the plane that was drinking. One of the flight attendants, actually. What he could have done was he could have given a false testimony and said that, yeah, it was the flight attendant. That wasn't my alcohol. But in that moment, when he was sitting in front of that judge, he knew that he needed to get free, even if it meant going to jail. And that was the moment he got free, where he fessed up and he told the judge that, no, I was the one who was drinking on the plane. I am responsible. I am even drunk now as we speak. And at the end of the movie, there he is, clean, in jail, but he's clean. And he said, thank God that I am sober. And we can even take this a step further. For those that know me, know I'm an alcoholic. I like booze. I love to get drunk. Remember that time back in July when I was slamming shots of whiskey live on the show? Yes, I remember too. And I knew I needed help. What did I do? I actually got help. Well, I mean, I didn't go to AA or anything like that, but I was on the chat one night, drank a whole bottle of Merlot, and some people were laughing, some people were angry with me. A lot of people were. Some people started even blocking me and said they want nothing to do with me because I can't control my drinking. And I ended up pissing off the wrong person. Let's put it that way. And I haven't drank ever since. Now, some people need that kind of push. She needs a push. She needs some sort of help. I don't care if it's AA, jail, both, a near-death experience. I don't know. She needs help. And with that out the way, let's circle right back to the gender thing. So there's 2 stats I want to bring up here. One, in this article that you'll see in the description, it mentions that there is a closing gap between the rates of drunk driving between men and women. If they haven't already, then they are surpassing men in drunk driving. But that article is still biased, saying that women are actually more cautious drivers, when statistically speaking, that's not really the case, because women actually get into more accidents per miles driven. It's men that have higher accident rates because they drive more miles. Lastly, there was a time where Islam would actually not let their women drive. Makes me wonder why. But hey, if we had the big bad patriarchy installed, where we had justice-based morality instead of care-based morality, none of this would have happened, now would it? Sometimes you just gotta save the women from themselves. Well, of course, they're gonna complain at first, but after they realize how much better their life is and their children's life are, they'll thank you. Maybe even thank you with a blowjob. Modern problems require ancient solutions. That's all I gotta say. Arrow Shogun's out. Oh, and one more thing. For those of you who still do drink, please drink responsibly.